Hello there, my lovelies. It's really wonderful to be here with you. I've been trying to make this video for a few days actually, and I thought, well, I'll grab myself a cup of coffee and just do it. Down in London, or I've been down in London for a few days, just working on my book and having a few days to myself. Although I did teach a live class the other day too, because I was committed to do that. So that was really quite funny. I stay in this little Quaker hotel, and there were 311 people in the group for the meditation. So it was like 311 people sitting in the library with me. The people from the hotel were really quite shocked. So if you were there as part of that, then lots of love to you. I just wanted to wish you really, really well and connect with you, that's all. And I wanted to share some wonderful bits and pieces with you. I've called this video numbers gratitude or something like that, or numbers thank you, because the last week has been numbers, and I'm not a numbers kind of guy, I have to say. If one person comes in authenticity and truth and sits with me, who wants to know their own soul, then that's as good to me as a million people, because I would rather take the one person, and not, there's no teaching to do then we're just actually human beings in life together, But I just wanted to share some beautiful numbers with you from the last week. I'm sorry if it's a wee bit noisy. I'm in Russell Square, actual Russell Square, the Gardens in London, and Southampton Row is this sort of street behind me, and I do believe that at some point in the 1970s Pink Floyd had their studios somewhere on Southampton Row. I could be wrong, but I've got that in there somewhere. I really need to listen to Shine On You Crazy Diamond when I get home today. Anyway, numbers, let's talk about these numbers. So in the last week, our wonderful YouTube channel has just gone over the 5,000 subscribers mark, which is just absolutely incredible. It's actually at about 5,500 as of today, and the thing that's done that is my reading of Khalil Gibran's Do Not Love Half Lovers, which suddenly has kind of leapt into having like 70,000 views in a month or something like that, or more. I don't know. I kind of I say numbers, but I'm not tracking them like a crazy person or anything, which is just amazing. And so that's helping, so obviously connecting new people. It's got a tinge of sadness because, as I said it in a video a little while ago, for some unknown reason YouTube demonetized my channel years ago, like 2013, something like that. Never told me why, never sent me a warning, and I think it's because I did this video about the Hegelian dialectic and its use in the modern age, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I just don't know, and I can't find any way to get it back, because that would be a lovely little trickle of income. It'd only be a little bit, but it'd be something coming in, from that stream. And so it's made me a lot less inclined, to kind of share that way, and yet at the same time I'm connecting to so many of you now through that. It's not a huge channel or anything, but it's lovely. So if any of you know, if anybody works for Google who actually wants to help me figure that out. That's, because this is just a beautiful opportunity to kind of be with each other, and I still really love YouTube. I don't have Netflix or anything like that, but I do watch YouTube, and I don't know about any of the rest of you, but it's such an important thing, but it seems to have shifted somewhat over the years, so I wish I knew what I'd said, but then even if I took it down, it wouldn't change anything now. It's just like, no, forever. Every time I do that appeal thing, no. So maybe some of you have a better clue than I. What else to tell you? Numbers. So my self-acceptance through authenticity course crossed the 15,000 students mark. So that's 15,000 of you beautiful people working with those meditations and materials, and there's probably about 1,600 reviews of people saying this has helped me so much in my life. And again, I don't take that egoically upon myself. I just turn up, do the work, and hopefully the soul, God, life itself somehow finds a way through those words, and the waiter's just broken a glass and creates a space into which people can actually start connecting or come back to that which they want most in themselves, which is themselves for real, rather than images and ideas of ourselves that we project into and live through because we think the world wants us to be a certain way. We have to do this in order to fit in. Any world that asks us that of us is not a world worth living in, and it's down to each of us to kind of make an increment of change in that towards authenticity. It's more of it's as much of a challenge as it is a kind of a holding space. But what I'm amazed by is so many people wanting to meet that challenge of their own lives, to actually live in their own hearts, and if you're one of them, then God bless you. Thank you so much for doing that work, because it means everything to me, but also to the world and to yourself, to your family, to your friends, to life on the planet itself. Authenticity is a true marker of spiritual progress. It really is. You cannot have one without the other. It's absolutely, kind of one of the number one things. I'm working away on my book for wonderful Watkins Publishing, and again, this week I just crossed the 20,000 word mark, which meant that the book was 1/3 done, because it's a 60,000 word book. Kind of. I can push towards 70, but I'd rather not. And I think I'm going to kind of hit pretty much around 60. I'm very good like that. And I aim to have a good first version of the book to present to my editor by Christmas, New Year, maybe kind of into mid-January. Then I'll take a month off, and then I'll probably rewrite most of the book, actually. You never know. But I don't attach to that sort of thing in that way. If the work needs doing, if it needs making clearer, if it needs a better line through it, if I've repeated myself a lot, because you don't realise how many times you might say something when you're over an expanse like this. Then fine, no problem with that at all. And the book will be with you Christmas 2021, so we'll talk about that much more when we get into next year, when we get this first version out of the way. Actually, this morning I think I just hit 24,000 words. I don't write much per day. I'm aiming at 10,000 words a month, that's all. And I keep a regular amount that I write each day, take the weekends off, and occasionally take a week off completely from writing, so that I can be refreshed from within, as it were, and allow that book to come out. And one more number for you, which is just amazing to me, is in the last week through Insight Timer and Wellness Coach, I've held space for more than 1,500 people live in meditation. One of the classes, 700 people in it, 711 I think, or something like that, which is just astonishing. And again, it's not about me saying me, it's just seeing this work starting to spread, just seeing those ripples going out. And by this holding of space, if that gives space for somebody else's heart, the ripples from that person and how far out that will go into the world, that any authenticity that is kind of found again within that person, any innocence regained, literally changes the world, around that person, and will affect the people around them. So it just can't be counted in a way how things spread out. But it's not this being as a center, it's life as the center. All I can do is kind of turn up. And I guess this leads me on to kind of something else that I wanted to sort of say to you, which is that that if you're feeling, what's my purpose? What am I here for? Or you feel drawn to something in your very soul, and you think, how can this actually be? Then try to meet that thing from your soul more than from your mind and ideas and pros and cons lists and how you feel about this and what people will say and what about this and what about that. And just check yourself, check that it's not too much ego identity. It doesn't matter if there's a bit of ego in there, but the more form of you that's there rather than the egoic identity of you, the cleaner the presence, basically. Just check yourself, daily in your journal or whatever, and just tiny little step of authenticity, tiny little step of soul. Keep vulnerable with yourself, keep open in your heart. You don't need to tell people too much what it is that you're doing, and just keep turning up. Just keep turning up in that way, but with a little proactive step. And whether that's regaining your health, whether that's your mental health, your psychological health, whether it's your spiritual journey, whether it's your work, whether it's your career, whether it's your relationship with your family, whether it's your relationship with how you are alone with yourself, all of that, all of that. And it's as simple as this. It's as simple as a hand on the heart of being tender with the self, but not Pollyanna, not tapping into the narcissism that's destroying the world, and there's such a thread of narcissism that's inbuilt into what we call our cultures now, that only you are the one who can make the difference in all that. You don't need to convince anybody else. It only takes one person to have this journey, and that's you. My journey is mine, yours is yours, but we're together in the soul, together in God, together in life, together in the heart. And I asked nobody to follow me. I asked nobody to call me teacher or anything like that. All I'm doing is trying to share with you how it's been for this little being to turn up in the world when I've been told so many times that I don't belong, to go back where you came from, brown skin and all that, that I have no right to be here. And rather than engaging and fighting in a way that it wants me to, because it's going to take your life, your energy, it's going to chew you up, it's going to filibuster you and use up the time of your life so that you achieve nothing. And that's what it wants you to do. It wants you to argue back. But what I've done, and what I know some others do, is that instead of even engaging with that, we just get on with it at the level of the soul, at the level of the smallest real step we can take, and we find a way every single bloody day. And nobody knows how much courage it takes to step out your door when you think there's not one more step inside you. And I know we've got that, I know we have. Bless you, love you, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. I almost forgot to invite you. I've got a meditation tomorrow night on Insight Timer, which is just me doing my own practice. That's Thursday night, and you're welcome to join me with that. But on Saturday, this Saturday at 7:10 BST, so you'll have to figure it out around the world depending on where you are, I have a practice which is for everybody who feels like they don't belong. Just a 20-minute sort of practice together, a bit of a chat and a bit of a reflection afterwards, kind of thing. And then I'm not allowed to say it on Insight Timer, but for those of you in the know, over on my own website, authenticliving.life, if you go to a link called the Open Space, which is under the Teachings bar, there's a Zoom link there, and you can come and join me at 8 p.m. BST for the Open Space, which is a meditation, again, which is for everyone who never belonged, for everyone who was the misfit, for everyone who was told no, you can't be you, and that doesn't matter which side of the political tracks you're from, which way you identify, or anything at all. Because the only thing that makes a damn bit of difference in this whole thing is consciousness and awareness, not what we identify with. And those things that we identify with will change if we move into the awareness and the love and the heart inside us. Not to become a this wing or that wing, but to become a whole. You know what I mean? To be in life, and then we take that out into the world. The practice on my own channel, on my own website, is mostly a silent practice, but it's not challenging in any way. It's just sitting with others around the world in silence together, with very minimal guidance from me, and then dropping off, and then we actually allow each other to see each other within that silence. And it's amazing how connective and community building this is. And I'd love to kind of go around the world and do this in person, and at some point we will certainly do that, if the means come along and the world opens up again properly. But for now, this is the way that we've got. So come and join if you want to. You know, the door's open to you always. Doesn't matter whether you feel right, wrong, this, that, or the other. The door's open, and you and your beautiful soul and heart are welcome. Bless you.